Welcome back. This week we are discussing Chapter 6, the restaurant industry. So the restaurant business is one with which I have a love-hate relationship. I've always loved working in customer service. I love being on my feet, staying busy, and having a positive impact on my customers' day. As you know, for 4 years, I was the co-owner of a Firehouse Subs franchise. Those years gave me some of the highest highs and lowest lows of my life. One of the highs was being able to host a fundraiser for a fallen firefighter. The community came out in droves and the line was out the door all day, but the feeling of pride and gratitude when we handed his wife a check for thousands of dollars was incomparable. One of the lows came on the day my aunt passed away. There were no other managers available to cover for me, so I had to hold back the tears and finish my shift, supervising my shift. These two instances are characteristics of this industry. You will have great days with awesome customer and employee interactions and days when you have to put on a smile and work through life's challenges. Another reason I love this industry is the food. I truly enjoy trying to go out and try new restaurants and tasting new flavor combinations. Most traditional cooking originates from French techniques, although our global society has brought cuisine from all over the world to our doorstep. I encourage you all to step out of your comfort zone and try something new next time you go out to eat or cook a new recipe at home. We spoke a little about franchising in the context of hotels. The concept is pretty similar when it comes to restaurants. An individual or company is permitted the use of a restaurant's name, menu, design, etc. in exchange for a combination of upfront fees and ongoing payments. Chain restaurants may be widespread due to franchising, but many are solely owned by the parent company. So an example of this is In-N-Out. All locations are owned and operated by one company. Subway is an example of a chain that is run as a franchise. To the uninformed customer, it may not be obvious which restaurants are corporate owned and which ones are franchise locations. If the managers are doing things right, the customer should not be able to tell the difference between a location owned by the parent company or a franchisee. Independent restaurants are usually owned and operated by an individual, family, or small group of people. These restaurants will be unique, and although they may have more than one location, they're not widespread and generally serve only one market. An example of this would be Snapper Jack's Taco Shack, one of my favorites here in Ventura County, or Wood Ranch, which has 16 locations in Southern California but only serves this market, isn't in other states or areas. There are certainly pros and cons to each type of ownership as mentioned in the book, so check that out in the textbook. There are several types of menus available at restaurants and other dining establishments. So these include a la carte, du jour, tourist, California, and cyclical. Often a restaurant will employ more than one menu type. For example, a Mexican restaurant may offer combinations or a la carte items. They may have a taco of the day, and they may repeat the same daily offerings cyclically each week. Ultimately, menus should be based on serving the guest's needs. A chef may be able to prepare a delicious soup for a low cost, but if the weather is extremely warm, that will likely not be ordered and the guests won't be happy. There are countless different types of restaurants and various ways to categorize them. You can categorize them by price point, cuisine, theme, and other ways. I prefer to lump restaurants by the tier or level of service, much like hotels. So let me break these down for you. Fine dining. Generally, food is cooked to order from scratch. Guests are served at their table, and they have a formal atmosphere. So some examples of this in our area might be Larson's Steakhouse, Mastro's, things like that. Casual dining is where food is generally cooked to order, guests are served at their table, but it has more of a casual atmosphere. So examples of this are BJ's, Cheesecake Factory, you name it. We have tons of these around here. Fast casual is where food is prepared to order, guests order at a counter, but generally there's a little bit more service than a fast food restaurant, let's say. So an example of this would be Firehouse Subs, Hook Burger. There's lots of examples of that as well. Another category is quick service, or what we generally refer to as fast food. So generally at these fast food establishments, food is often pre-made for quick assembly because the focus here is on speed. And the guests only interact with staff when they're ordering and getting their food, or if they need something, the staff doesn't generally serve you and go out of your way to help you, right? So examples of this would be Taco Bell, Subway, things like that. So within each of these tiers, there may be various types of cuisine offered and many different themes represented, but the level of service will remain consistent. So, again, quick service, Taco Bell serves Mexican food, Subway serves sandwiches, McDonald's serves hamburgers, different cuisines, but they all are in that same quick service category. Within each of these tiers, we just talked about that. Can you think about themed restaurants? So that would be, just to elaborate on this, themed restaurants would be something where they really keep a theme. So like Firehouse Subs is essentially a themed restaurant. It's themed around the firehouse, firefighter culture, right? Rainforest Cafe is a great example of a themed restaurant, themed around that, rainforest environment with the jungle, the trees, and the animals all around you. There's lots of different restaurants like that kind of go into it a little further to give you the full immersive experience. As with hotels, many restaurants these days are pushing sustainability. Talk about this every lesson, right? This practice helps the environment and usually offers financial benefit to the restaurant. So just like in hotels, there's something in it for the restaurant owner as well, because they can usually cut costs. In addition, some customers are attracted to companies that have a green image. We talked about this with hotels as well. Many restaurants are becoming more transparent about the food they serve. Some source their ingredients locally, while others boast organic or carb-conscious options. Anticipating and serving the guests' needs and desires is the best way to gain and retain customers. So I want you to think about some ways that restaurants can work to be sustainable, and different ways different restaurants around you work to offer unique things for unique customer groups. Okay, that is the restaurant industry.